Are you ready? Or am I ready? Welcome to the superpilotish channel. My name's Graham Wilson, and today in my basement, you will witness a superpilot-ish kind of guy practicing his chair flying. Yep. So, right after this show, I'm going to be heading out to the airport, and I'm going to be doing a solo flight, sort of an interesting flight. It's one of these things I have thousands of hours of flying, but today will be the first day that I go and I fly a tail dragger for the very first time. And if you don't know what that is, I will demonstrate with the KD-12X Mark II. That's what a tail dragger is. You're here with your tail dragging on the ground, and then it comes up and you take off. I've shown you this wonderful engineering masterpiece before, but so I was last Saturday I went flying with the chief pilot at the Canadian Aviation Museum here in Windsor, and he was thinking, I must admit my landings were really sweet there. We were doing some touch and goes and stuff. And he said, well, you're ready to go solo whenever the day's nice. And, he's working today, the chief pilot. So he said, come in next week and take the plane up. I thought, okay, cool. And the weather is looking absolutely perfect for me to go flying today. So why not? And today's Friday, so I'll have pizza afterwards. So that's pretty good. But okay, like anything, and I was trying to assess with myself. It's been a long time since I did my very first solo flight. That was in 20 years ago. Yeah, I think so. It was just about 20 years ago I did my first solo flight. And then there's another thing that we have in Canada, anyways, is that one of the requirements to get your float rating, your seaplane rating, is that you have to do so many hours with an instructor, and then you have to do so many hours by yourself. And so that's a little bit weird too. The first time you're getting into a seaplane, it handles differently on the water. It's like a boat, you transition from a boat to an airplane. There's a little knack to that. And here in Canada, we don't have, I think in the States, you have to have a specific tail wheel rating. I'm not too sure. But here, legally, you can just, once you get your private pilot's license, you can just hop in any old plane and whatever the configuration and go take off. So, but anyways, if someone's letting you fly their plane, they want to make sure you're good. So, that's what the guy kind of said. Yeah, you're good to go next week, Graham. So that's today. And when you are doing something new for the first time, it never hurts to rehearse in your head. And in aviation, we call that chair flying. So here we go. I'm sitting on a chair, perfect place for a chair flight. And so I'm just going to kind of show you. So maybe there's somebody out there that maybe they're getting ready for their first solo flight, and like ever, and they'll be like, and that's a little bit more nerve-wracking. I would say like my stress level today is about the same as if I was going to fly into an unfamiliar airport, maybe a little busier than I would want or what I'm used to. So it's like, not really a super high stress level, but yeah, it's a little different than the regular. I'm taking up a 172 and bombing around, so stress level a little bit higher, not too much. And so now I'm gonna imagine myself well, actually, here we go. That would start before you even leave the house. So here we go. I'm rehearsing my flight today in my head. Now, first of all, what do I need? I got to go drive to the airport, and I got to have my handy dandy flight bag with me. And I haven't looked in this since last week, so let's see how it's doing here. Gonna need all my stuff. You got to be nice and legal. Never hurts to double check your pilot's license. I've showed you this a few times on the Super Pilotish channel, but that's what your pilot license. That's what it looks like in Canada. It's an aviation document, and all right. And I already know I'm good to go, but never hurts to be 100%, 100%, 100% sure. And I do have to get a pilot medical before the end of the month. So for this month, I'm good. And then my booklet expires next year, so I'll have to get a new one of those. And I got everything else. I'm good to go. Legally, I am cool. And I've already gotten permission from the chief pilot to go fly in there. He's looked at the weather, but I'm going to still call him up before I go out there. And what else we got? Now, before I was flying with someone else, and then if you're flying with someone else, you can get a little bit lazy about things. And so I never took out the old knee board or anything. I was letting him take care of all the. He was pilot in command, so I'm letting him take care of all the numbers and stuff. So I will have to do that today. So the old knee board. This is like, if you've never seen one of these before, it's a little Velcro doodad there. So you take that. How would I do that? You wrap it around your leg and you Velcro it like that, and that'll stick on your leg. And then you have something you can write on. And you got your pen right here. So I'm gonna make up myself a little sheet. I had some stuff scratched on there. I'm gonna get a brand new. I just use a regular Joe Blow, three hole lined piece of paper. Stick it under here. There's a little clip, and then So I'm gonna. What information am I gonna need here today? So, got to do the old SUDS. SUDS. I think I've mentioned this before. You gotta get the SUDS. So that stands for. Let's see if I can get this on the camera right. So this is for your times that you have to record. Start time up, down. So it's your takeoff and landing time, and stop. So that way you take care of your flight time and your air time. Okay, I got the SUDS. And if I was going to go to some airport that I'm not familiar with, I'd probably want to write down some radio frequencies on here too. Now, everybody else, a lot of people get their iPads and they do some fancy stuff with that. And that's all good too. But I'm just keeping it simple today. I'm just knocking off a few touch and goes. All right. But I just know because I've flown at this airport so many times. So the frequencies, so we're going to say, we'll say ground. Actually, the first thing I'm going to find is the ATIS, ATIS. Okay. Automated Terminal Information System. Okay, so that's on 134.5. And then usually that'll tell you what runway is in use, what the winds are doing that day, and an altimeter setting. So I always like to write down the altimeter setting at least. Altimeter. That way you'll be accurate for how high you are above the ground. Okay, so ATIS, and that'll be every hour or sometimes more frequently, they'll come out with a new little recording that's on this frequency, and you can hear it on your radio. And it'll start out first thing in the morning with ATIS Alpha, then the next hour is ATIS Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, all that other stuff. Okay, then I'm going to taxi, so I'm going to need my ground frequency, which I know is 121.7, and tower here in Windsor, Ontario, 124.7. Even if it is like something like the back of your hand, let's see if I can show you that. Yeah. It doesn't hurt to write things down so, if you can beforehand. Oh, hey, Jim. See you in here. And wrench too. Okay, what else am I going to need here? That is pretty much about it for this little funny this little flight I'm doing. Another thing you might want to do is if you're going in somewhere, let's just say you have a radio failure and you're going somewhere, it might not be the worst thing in the world to write down what's the phone number of the control tower if you want to get going somewhere and maybe your radio's not working and you can still get cleared into a control zone if you just call them up on your cell phone if you have reception and the plane's all noisy and everything. And you're like, hey, can I come in and land? And they'll be like, my radio's on the fritz. I got to get it fixed. Sometimes they'll you can arrange beforehand if there's a avionics shop on the airfield. You call up the tower beforehand and say like, hey, I'm planning on coming in, and they can pre-clear you like 3 hours in advance. Okay, you are cleared into the control zone. Squawk this code and enter at sometime between noon and 12:15. Okay, then you just go fly in and go get your radio fixed. Okay, so that looks like that's about all I'll need. All right, that's for that. I am legal. Maybe I'll go through the I'm safe checklist. Have you ever heard about that one? I think I've mentioned it here before. Actually, I got to do that off the top of my head. I haven't thought about that in a while. All right, here we go. I did a video on this. See if I can remember this. I might have to jog my memory. There's the I'm safe checklist. You should be doing this before every flight. And basically, if you're feeling pretty good, you're all right. So I stands for illness. Am I sick? Nope. Good to go. M, medication. So am I on any meds? Nope. S, I'm safe. Oh, I might have to check this one out. No, sleep. Did I get enough sleep? Yes, I am well rested. A, alcohol. Am I drunk? Nope. No. What else we got here? Or even hungover. You don't want to be hungover. F is I don't know what that is. F, fluids. Are you hydrated? Let's check that out. You got to be. Let's Google that puppy up. I'm safe checklist. Food. Actually, I don't even have to check that up. I just thought of it. Okay, food. Did I eat? Yeah, I just ate. Eat and E. Where's E? Eating. Oh, I forget that. Okay, let's do the I'm safe checklist. We'll do it right. When in doubt, look it up. I'm safe checklist. Okay, here we go. We are going to check this out. I'm safe. Oh, this is one from the Civil Air Patrol over in the States. Let's see what they say it is. Okay, illness, medications. Oh, medication, stress. Okay. F is fatigue. E is emotion. Okay, that's where I was thinking that before. Okay, I got that all wrong. Okay, what do we got here? According to the Civil Air Patrol people, yeah, so illness, medication, stress, alcohol, fatigue, and emotion is they do that. They call that in the States. They'll do that. Here, I think they call it eating. So I'm feeling very good about having a full belly here, but not too full, so it makes you tired. All right, I'm safe checklist. Totally good to go flying today. And I got this bad boy here. Throw that back in the bag. And what else we got? Just hopping around the circuit today. I got my headset in there. All right. Oh, and then I got to get this out too. Got to get my little access to the museum. There we go. So people will know I belong. I have a little lanyard here. What do we got here? I don't know if you can see that. It looks cool. You got the lanyard. Ooh, Canadian Aviation Museum. Dun, dun, dun. And not to be mistaken with the aviation and aerospace one in Ottawa. So there you go. Membership's all good to go. I always put that on when I walk in because you don't always, if it's a bigger organization, people don't necessarily know who you are or if you belong. So, okay. So here we are getting ready to start up I do all my pre-flight inspection there. I'm checking my fuel, checking my oil, make sure I got enough of all that stuff. Hop in, fire it up. Now in the airplane, there's a little checklist for some things. So because there's a checklist, you don't really have to memorize that stuff. And it's better to not memorize checklists because your memory can be faulty, and so that's why there's a checklist. So if you absolutely make it a point to do less work by not memorizing your checklist, then you won't miss anything because you got to check it out. What do I got to do? Yeah. So checklist items on starting the plane up, and okay, I fire it up. Then I will get my ATIS. Okay, so this is all part of when you're chair flying. So I'm going to tune in to 134.5. See what the ATIS is, what runways in use, what are the winds like. If the winds are too crazy, cancel the flight. Whatever. We'll see what happens. And then that's another thing about chair flying is that, let's just say you're at a runway, and you're going over and over and over in your head, rehearsing something. I would say don't necessarily use the exact same airplane all the time, unless you know for sure that's the airplane you're going to be flying that day. So I don't know exactly. There's a couple of chipmunks out there. I don't know which one they're going to want me to take out, so I'm not going to be rehearsing any specific registration on that. I've had that lots of times where students they'll sit there and they say, okay, da da da, and they had something written down on their piece of paper, and they're going over in their head, okay, Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Charlie, Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Charlie, and then they hop into Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Delta. But because they've rehearsed it so much in their head, they get on the radio and they say Alpha Bravo Charlie, and it's like, no, that's why they put that little placard up on the dash of all the airplanes. Every airplane will have that. There's a little placard on the dashboard there that says the registration of the airplane. In the States, it'll be whatever, November 113 Charlie or whatever, it is. In the States, it's a little different. So yeah, do that, fire it up. I'll go taxi. I'll do my run up, where you rev up the engine, make sure everything's cool. If everything's cool, we're going to go out. Now I'm on the runway. And so this is kind of what you imagine. Okay. So I'm going to give her full power. All right. Now I can anticipate because the de Havilland Chipmunk, the propeller actually spins the opposite way than most airplanes. So most airplanes, you need a bit of right rudder when you're taking off. The Chipmunk, you'll need a bunch of left rudder. So, okay, I'll keep that in mind. That's a little different. And okay, I'm going to be taking off. Okay. And I get the tail up so I can get some speed, take off. And then, like around, I don't know, 60 miles an hour or so, we'll just kind of let the plane fly off on its own. Don't yank it up. Okay, I'll be climbing up at about 75 knots, 500 feet above the ground. I'll start a shallow turn to the left and then go up and right around. Now, and I can also anticipate here too, without an instructor in the back, I'm going to be climbing a little bit faster. So I might level out to my height, 1,600 feet here in Windsor. Might get that before I actually turn on the downwind leg. So then I go through, I'll do some checks, make a radio call, blah, 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 pull some power back. I'm thinking in my head right now, we'll throw a little flap on. We'll kind of turn. We're going to be going down on our base leg of the circuit, or the pattern as they call it in the States. Fly that at about 75 knots all the way in, go in, grease the landing. I'm going to probably start off with a couple of 3-point landings where you just kind of put it on like that. Then I'll do a couple of those, and then a couple of wheel landings where the main wheels go on first, and you let the tail wheel come down. There we go. And okay, I've sort of chair flown, and then but if you were gonna, I'm kind of ripping through it fast because I want to get out to the airport. But yeah, if you're going to be doing that, try to be as specific as you can if you're going to be doing that for your very first solo ever, and repeat. But once you got a few thousand hours under your belt, you don't have to be quite as specific. But it doesn't hurt to think about it. And now I've thought about it. Very good. And it's also part of my multitasking here, where I got my kneeboard already set up, so I'm killing two birds with one stone. Okay, we'll put that little ID here. Actually, I'll leave that out. And then we'll zip this up. And then once I'm done, I just got to throw on some shoes and head on out. So, yeah, snap that puppy there. Yeah. Okay, cool. Almost ready to go. And so yeah, that's about it. That's another thing too. I do have my reliable timepiece on today, so I can record my start time, my time up, and my time down, and my stop time. Okay, we got this stuff. And yeah, you know what are we at? 20 minutes. It's about right. And I am going to, we'll see if you guys have any questions or comments. What else we got here? Oh, Nefarious popped in here too. Hey, Nefarious. Oh, here we go. So Wrench is clearing this up for us. In the USA, it's a tail wheel sign off and an endorsement in your logbook, not a rating. Okay, so it's some sort of thing that has to get signed off in your book. Okay. Okay. All right, what else we got here? Oh, here we go. Here's another one here too that Wrench is talking about. If you have any kind of GPS, like not like your Garmin driving around in your car GPS, but yeah, all your if there's a GPS, even if the database is expired in it for airports, it'll still have all the frequencies that you need for your airports. And yeah, so that would be something. My plane today has no GPS. It's a 1952 model with pretty much original instruments. So, okay. What else we got here? Yeah, there we go. I was wondering too, where is Corey? Corey hasn't been around here for a while, but I haven't seen him, Jim. I couldn't tell you. Oh, and here we go. The Alberta Aviation Museum was good in Edmonton. I've never been there, but at the museum here, they kind of like all these aviation museums, they'll kind of interact with each other. So there's people here that have been out there and checked it out and stuff. Tire pressure, yep, that's worth checking out for sure. Okay. Okay, here's another idea too. Chair flying might be pulling up the simulator program. I would do that for instrument flying. Absolutely, for sure. That's fantastic. As far as if you're just doing your very first solo, or someone like me, I don't know. I don't know how useful that would be. I'm kind of 50-50 on that, because I have seen students where they have pretty much the exact model of the airplane, and like one younger student I had, he was really good, and he had like the exact model of the airplane that we were flying for his simulator, and he would go online and he would like he would practice everything on his simulator, and like I would not see this kid for like I don't know, like 2 or 3 months, and he just hops in the plane and flies it like nothing. Like usually you forget everything, but this kid's on flying his simulator for like hours over the months, and he was really good. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he works at the airlines now. Yeah, he was really good. What do we got here? Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. We have an update on Corey. He's been working with a grave marker guy. Okay. He may be doing that. Also, his beloved pet passed away. Well, Corey, if you watch this, sorry to hear about your pet, dude. Hop in anytime. Whenever, when I'm here. Okay, so I'm going to run out of here. Oh, and let's not forget about today's November 10th. So tomorrow's November 11th. So that's Remembrance Day here in the Commonwealth countries, and it's Veterans Day over in the USA. So tomorrow, don't forget at 11 o'clock to kind of think about stuff like that, and how we don't want any wars to be going on. So there we go. I'm sure they would, any of the veterans of that war would appreciate that. And so there we go. There's that. And today is Friday. Okay. So pizza day after my flight. I'm just going to shut her down here. Friday. I'll be back on Monday. I'll tell you guys how everything went. And because I do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern, we'll just kind of shut her down. And for everyone here, thank you for watching. Bye.